Okay, let's talk about sleep. We spend, what, a third of our lives doing it? And yet, for so many of us, a really great night's sleep feels like a constant battle. Well, today, we're going to unlock the science behind it all. By the end of this, you'll have a whole toolkit to finally reclaim your rest. Let's dive in.
I mean, it's the question, right? The one millions of us are asking ourselves while we're tossing and turning in the middle of the night. You might feel like you're the only one staring at the ceiling, but trust me, you are so far from alone.
In fact, check this out. Studies show that a staggering 10 to 15% of all adults say they have chronic insomnia. This isn't just some personal failing, it's a huge public health issue. And you know what? It's often driven by just a few common things.
Now, what's really crucial to understand here is that a lot of these factors are actually within our control. From the stress we carry to bed with us, to that late-night coffee or that last scroll through our phones, these habits are directly messing with our brain's natural ability to just power down. So to fix the problem, we first have to understand the machinery behind it.
So let's pull back the curtain on what your brain is actually doing all night long. Because once you get the rhythm, you can learn how to join the dance instead of fighting against it.
At the very heart of our sleep is the circadian rhythm. The easiest way to think about it is like your body's own internal master clock. It's a 24-hour cycle that tells you when to be alert and when to be sleepy. And the single most powerful thing that sets this clock? Light. Yep, specifically morning sunlight, which basically tells your brain, okay, the day has started, time to get going.
Okay, so once that clock starts to wind down for the night, your brain doesn't just switch off. It actually cycles between two key states. First, you've got NREM sleep, and that's for your body. This is where that deep physical restoration happens. And then there's REM sleep, which is for your brain. This is the famous dream sleep, where your mind is incredibly active, organizing memories and processing emotions. You absolutely need both to wake up feeling great. And your brain doesn't just pick one and stick with it. It moves through these predictable stages, from light sleep down into deep NREM sleep and then into REM sleep, all in a recurring 90-minute cycle. This whole pattern repeats 4 to 6 times a night. Deep physical rest happens more in the first half, and that brain-focused REM sleep takes over closer to morning. This is exactly why waking up at the end of one of these cycles feels so much better than being jolted awake right in the middle of one.
All right, now that we kind of get the what, let's get into the how. Here's the secret. Good sleep doesn't just start when your head hits the pillow. No, it's a 24-hour project that really begins the moment you wake up.
Just think of your entire day as setting the stage for a great night. That morning sunlight helps set your internal clock. Regular exercise builds up what's called sleep pressure. A short nap can be great, but you gotta keep it brief. And of course, avoiding stimulants like caffeine and alcohol in the evening, that's like clearing the runway for a smooth landing into sleep. See? Each habit builds on the last.
Now let's talk about the room itself. This is one of the most common questions people have when they're trying to optimize their bedroom. Is there like a magic number for the thermostat? Well, it turns out there kind of is. Research consistently points to this cool range, right between 60 and 68 degrees Fahrenheit, or about 15.5 to 20 Celsius, as the absolute sweet spot for the best quality sleep. But why? And here's the brilliant reason why it works. As your body prepares for sleep, your core temperature naturally starts to drop. A cool room doesn't fight that process. It helps it along, making it easier for your body to reach that lower temperature it needs for deep, restorative rest. It's working with your biology. And finally, the last hour of your day. This is absolutely critical. This is your wind-down period. The goal here is simple. Send clear signals to your brain that the day is over. That means dimming the lights, putting away the screens with all that stimulating blue light, and doing something calming. Read a real book, listen to some quiet music.
But let's be real. What about those nights when you've done everything right and you're still wide awake? For that, you need some in-the-moment rescue techniques.
This is a game changer, and it comes straight from cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia. The absolute worst thing you can possibly do is lie in bed stressing about not sleeping. That just teaches your brain to associate your bed with anxiety. So if you're still awake after 20 minutes, get up, go to another room, keep the lights super low, and just do something boring until you feel that wave of sleepiness return.
When you're feeling anxious, your breathing gets all shallow and quick, right? Well, this technique is like a physiological off switch for that stress response. That long exhale, especially, helps calm your entire nervous system. It's so simple. Breathe in through your nose for 4 seconds, hold it for 7, and then just exhale through your mouth for 8.
Do that a few times and you'll feel a difference.
This one's a classic for a reason. It's basically a full-body scan designed to systematically release every bit of physical tension. You start with your face, unclench your jaw, relax your eyebrows, and then you let that wave of relaxation just travel all the way down through your shoulders, your arms, your chest, and right down to the tips of your toes. By the time your body is fully relaxed, your mind is usually ready to follow right behind.
So with all these tools and all these techniques, the final piece of the puzzle is really just changing how we think about this. Sleep isn't a battle you win or lose each night. It's a skill. It's something you cultivate over time. So what's the target we should be aiming for? Well, the National Sleep Foundation recommends about 7 to 9 hours for most adults. Think of this more as a benchmark, a way to see if you're in the right ballpark. Your personal needs might be slightly different, and that's okay.
And this quote from sleep medicine Dr. Abhinav Singh just captures the main takeaway of this whole thing perfectly. Success at night is built by the choices you make during the entire day.
So, let's stop fighting with our sleeplessness and start working with our body's natural rhythms. By building consistent habits and understanding the science, you can seriously transform sleep from a source of anxiety into a source of real strength.
Because every single great day, one where you feel sharp and creative and just happy, it's built on the foundation of the night before. And the power to build that foundation, it's in your hands, starting tonight.